Chris, here you are back at Fir Park. We couldn't not take the opportunity to speak to you. How does it feel being back here today?
Yeah, driving up, just brought us back so many memories, and like I said, I've really enjoyed myself here. I'd say it's probably the best I've played in my career whilst being here, and the most fun I've had on and off the pitch with a lot of the players that were here. So a lot of memories came back driving up here.
What memories in particular spring to mind first when you think of your time here at Motherwell, clocking up over 100 appearances and making some really good memories along the way?
Loads, to be honest, loads. Just little things like, obviously I was very close with Randolph and Tom Aitley. So some of the journeys we used to have together in Tom's car, driving up to DL, was funny. We used to have a proper laugh in there. So just memories like that, and obviously all the backroom staff that were here. You just start thinking of things that you haven't thought about in a long time, and it was just nice pulling up and seeing familiar faces again.
And if I had to ask you to pick a particular moment on the pitch, Chris, that comes to mind, if you had to relive it, what would you go for?
I think I'd say the Celtic game, the one I scored in when we beat them here. I just remember the crowd going wild, and like I say, that corner, over in the far corner with the drums, and that stands out to me. When I come up to Motherwell and think of watching a game or playing in a game, I'd say that corner there, fantastic. And they never stop singing your name. They never stop beating the drum. They go all over the place with their team. Like I say, when we beat Celtic 2 at the end of that game, it was just amazing. The atmosphere was amazing. We were all buzzing. Obviously, Stuart was buzzing. So, we had a few Rangers fans as well in the dressing room at the time. So they were buzzing, and it was just, it was amazing. So I'd say, I'd definitely say that sticks out massively for me.
And what do you think, when from the first day you walked through the doors at Fir Park to when you left at the end of your spell here, what do you think it did for you as a player?
Oh, definitely. Well, it was overwhelming when I first come up, because obviously I didn't know anyone. I was in a different country. It was nice to have a couple of English players up here, like Geno and Koki at the time. So that was nice. But you know what? As soon as I came up, the lads just that were here welcomed me in straight away. Hammy, Laz, some Crags at the time.
Of course.
When you go all the way back, Crags did play for us. So it's crazy now, and then you see him on BT doing games compared to what I know him as. So it's been brilliant to see his journey as well, and everyone else's journey. Rand's, Tom's gone to is it Poland or Iceland? Yeah. Tom's gone. Daz has done amazing things since he's left. Hammy's now, at the academy. Laz is now assistant manager. So it's Craig's is doing that, and the 18s or the youth team that he's doing. Yeah. So it's amazing to see all the people that I was close with and played with, all their journeys as well. And I still keep in touch with Murph, Lawsy, Higgy. Right. Henrik messages every now and then. So I think that showed you the togetherness, the closeness, and the team spirit that we had when I was here, and the team that was here. Because I always say, if you keep in contact with the ones you keep in contact with, that showed you. Because in football, that doesn't happen much. I can't say that at any of the other clubs that I keep in contact with 5 or 6 players. Whereas when I was here, I still speak to a lot of the lads. Yeah. And even the managers, Stuart McCall, I speak to him, I wouldn't say often, but we do speak still. Yeah. And I know that if I picked up the phone and rang him for advice or wanted to speak to him about life skills or anything, he'd pick up the phone and he'd talk. And that says a lot. Yeah. And obviously this club brought that all together and gave us that opportunity to do that. So, that's a big thing for me.
And then talk to us about your time after Motherwell. Of course, you were speaking to me before we came on camera about your troubles with injury, and how did you cope with that mentally, Chris, as well as obviously the impact it did have?
Yeah, it was a big thing for me because obviously when I was at Motherwell and the first couple of years at Preston, I didn't really get injuries. I didn't have any injuries. I might have pulled the odd hamstring here and there, but couldn't help that with how fast I was, But yeah, but I never really had any serious injuries, and that was down to the way that the clubs looked after us, and obviously the sports scientists at the times was doing their jobs, and obviously while I was here, it was Jai P was doing his obviously doing his job right, But when I got it, it was tough for me because like I said, I'd never experienced anything like that. Started off with a little bit of pain, and I just thought it was a niggle because as footballers, we get niggles, you play through them. Because if you don't, you lose your spot, and then you might not play again. Yeah. So you teach yourself to play through pain. So I played and came to 5-6 months down the lane, and each month the pain's getting worse and worse and worse. So there was one day in training where I could hardly walk. So I'd said to the physio, look, this isn't right now. I had the scan and it showed a fracture in my shin. So I had to have the operation, pole put in. I was out for a year, near enough a whole season. Came back, everything was fine. Managed to play 5-6 games in the Championship when we got promoted, because it was the season after we got promoted to the Championship with Preston. Managed to play a few games in there, and then it came back again. So it was so I rested it again. Then came up to Hibs, and unfortunately then did my Achilles. So, but they always say, when you do an injury, a serious one, and you're out for a while, you spend a lot of time trying to get that right, and you neglect your other parts of the body. So I did something else, and listen, I always believe in what's meant to be will be. I had it, so you just got to be mentally strong. And came back from it, went to Bury, managed to play 13 games for them, but it's like I was saying to you earlier, didn't enjoy it there. So I just fell out of love with football. So at the end of that season, I just thought, you know what, my shin's hurting me. I fell out of love with it, so I can't play. I can't play with this pain when I fell out of love with it. So I've ended it, and that's why I put the retirement thing out the other day. And then literally a couple of days later, his Kilbride got in touch and said, look, do you fancy doing this? Train on a Thursday, play on a Saturday. And I jumped at it because I thought, you know what, my shin will have a whole week recovery. Train once a week and play a game. And I'm so happy I did that. I went in, met the lads, they're brilliant. And I loved playing the other day. So I'm glad to be back, at least doing something like that.
Yeah, it's safe to say that love is fully back in you.
Yeah, definitely. My missus was saying to me, like, you haven't crack a smile when you talk about football or anything, the last few months, which I haven't, because I've not enjoyed it. I've not gone and watched any football. The only thing I was doing was I was helping out at the under-16s at the Preston Academy, and I love that. I love that side of it, coaching. So I jumped on a B licence, so I'm on that at the minute. Hopefully should finish that early next year. And then I'll take it from there. But the aim of the game is to one day be a manager. Next couple of years, be a manager and go that way. But like I say, I found the love back. I'm smiling again when I talk football. I've been to a couple of games and I'm starting to enjoy it again.
And of course, it's being here, if we bring the interview full circle, being back here, seeing the familiar faces, a club that you said in that heartfelt message you put out did so much for you, not just in your football life, your personal life as well. I guess with this love back, being back here, the road ahead's looking very bright.
Yeah, very. And like I said, like in that message I said, this club, it made me, I think, and it allowed me to go on to Preston and do well there as well. And it's like I said to you, this is not just the on-pitch experience, it's the off-pitch experiences that I had to go through, with everything that happened with us, with me and the missus. It makes you a stronger person, and I was just fortunate that I had teammates and, the club were fantastic at that time. So, like I said in the message, I'll never forget that. And like I say, coming back here today is just it's special. It's been nice.
Well, Chris, it's been great to sit down with you. I really, really appreciate it, and all the best for the future.
No, cheers, thank you.